Good afternoon, everybody. David Shuster here on Take Action News. Welcome to the start of our second hour on this, the March 23rd edition. This is normally the Daniel Marin's Hour of our show, and Daniel's going to be taking over things in just a little bit with a great interview coming up on Middle East policy. But first, Daniel, I got to ask you, there was a bizarre story this week about roadkill being legalized in Montana. Roadkill legalized in Montana. What's that about?
Well, David, it looks like state lawmakers in Montana are about to say that it is legal to salvage roadkill to animals that have been killed on the roadside and to use it for food. Here's how one Montana state senator put it. It really is a sin to waste a good meat. That's Larry Gent, a Democrat from Bozeman. Now, opponents question whether the meat would be safe enough and that it could create liability issues for food banks that accept it. Senator Kendall Van Dyke of Billings said that police are not qualified enough to decide whether roadkill is edible. Quote, "Despite its good intention, it doesn't pass the smell test for me," Van Dyke said.
What have we become when, look, in Europe, there's this controversy about using horse meat in burgers and meatballs and all this different stuff. And yet we have one of our great states, the state of Montana, which is actually suggesting that, oh, yeah, people want to scoop up that pile of meat on the highway that's just been run over by an 18-wheeler. That's fine. You go ahead and make some burgers and patties out of that and cook it up. No problem. I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, I suppose if this was sort of the Mad Max world and we had no electricity, it was all for them, it was the end of the world, the apocalypse, and everyone's struggling. And yeah, I guess I sort of understand in that environment. But in this day and age, the idea that we would allow or we would encourage people to go ahead, oh yeah, don't worry about it, just go ahead and scoop up that meat. There's your meat for tonight. That's crazy.
Well, David, I gotta disagree with you there because it's one thing if it's been rolled over by an 18-wheeler and the issue of whether it gets used for food banks and official purposes like that, fine. But there's a little bit of a, maybe not a 5-second rule, but maybe a 5-minute rule.
A 5-day rule?
I don't know about, I didn't say 5 days. But if you're the one that hits the meat yourself, my understanding is, well, you can examine it. Maybe you just kissed it a little bit, you touched it with your car, why not pick it up? And the truth is, David, this is something where elites like you and me, we're a little bit out of touch because there are a lot of folks in rural America that's just part of what they do. I'm serious. I spoke to a guy from Bowling Green, Kentucky, who was a member of a band that I saw performing on the Lower East Side, and I did a long interview with him about roadkill, and I'll play it in a future time, but he essentially said, if you hit a rabbit on the road, you just don't want it to go to waste. And squirrel is also apparently very tasty. Now, one, and that's again the eastern sort of Appalachian animals. I mean, they're talking about elk, deer, antelope, and moose over there in Montana. One animal that he said is considered disgusting to eat as roadkill, or really altogether, is possum, and that's just kind of low brow, because it's really just kind of a large rat.
But let's just suppose squirrel. Let's just buy your argument that suppose squirrel is tasty. Let's just, okay, maybe squirrel is tasty. But when it's
I've been told like chicken.
Grit from a tire or a car's paint or a bumper or whatever, that doesn't seem like it's particularly appetizing.
Well, you got to skin it. I mean, it's like the rind of an orange. There's all that layers underneath. The meat's still good. The bigger issue is that if it's been dead for days, it's disease a long time. But here's what I'm going to say.
Right.
There are long-distant cousins, Marin's cousins, in Montana. Believe it or not, my great-grandfather's cousin, or I forget exactly how it was, but there were some Marinses that came over there in the late 1800s, and they went straight for Montana. And we still have family members out there, and I'm going to get in touch with them, hopefully get them on the show, talk a little bit about what's the deal with all this roadkill out there in Montana.
By the way, in about a minute and a half, we're going to pause and let our syndicated stations catch up with us, and then Daniel Marins is going to take us through the rest of the hour.